So I'll read through the questions, give you guys a few, like 30 seconds to a minute to answer, and then you feel free to put your answers in the chat, whether it be A, B, or C or D. And then I'll also copy and paste the question and the question rationale. All right. So to start, if the price of carpeting is $19 per square yard, how much will it cost to carpet a room that is 15 by 15 feet? Is that A, $1,100, B, $4,275, C, $750, or D, $475? Right, we got B. Okay, so it would be D. Let's see what they did. Start by calculating square foot, 15 by 15. We multiply that, you get 225 square feet. They divide that by 9 to get square yards. And then you get 25 square yards. Then you multiply the 25 by $19 and get $475. So they tricked you by using square yards. Yeah, that was a hard one. I had no idea how many yards are in a square foot. Okay. Miss Kelly sold her property herself and has agreed to finance the property. According to Truth in Lending, Miss Kelly must reveal A, the discount points, B, nothing, C, the APR, or D, all finance fees. Right, we got B, nothing, and that is correct. Good job. That was a tricky one. The correct answer is B, nothing. Okay. Which class of individuals is protected under the Equal Credit Opportunity Act, but not under the Federal Fair Housing Act? Is that A, sex, B, familial status, C, ancestry, or D, marital status? This one is going to definitely help for your test. All right, we got D, and that is correct. Marital status is not protected under the Federal Fair Housing Act. All right, next question. The seller must have 140K to pay off a mortgage of $15,000 for a vacation, $15,000 in closing costs, and the broker fee of 7%. How much must the property sell for? Is that A, $181,850, B, $179,181.50, C, $175,250, or D, $182,795.70. This may take, I'll give you guys a minute or so. There we go. That was quick. Okay, so it was so close, but it is D. Let's see. So first, add up everything the seller wants, and that is 140K plus 15K plus 15, so you get 170K. Out of 100%, the seller promised the broker 7%. So the seller's share of 100% is now 93%. So they subtracted the 7% from the 100 and got 93%, divided that by the 170K, and that's how they got $182,795.70. So that's what the property needs to sell for. Right. Cool. The next question. The Fair Credit Reporting Act gives borrowers which right? A, right to dispute inaccuracies in the credit reports. B, right to a free copy of their credit reports if they have been denied credit due to information in them. C, all of the answers listed. Or D, the name of anyone who has received a copy of the borrower's report in the last 6 months. And that is correct. Good job. So the correct answer is C, all of the answers listed. Okay, next question. The primary function of the secondary mortgage market includes all of the following except, so all of the following except, is that A, sell real estate mortgages, B, make loans directly to the public, C, buy real estate mortgages, or D, provide greater liquidity for the mortgages. Perfect, they B. Cool, that is correct. Good job, guys. It is B. Okay, next question. Which class is protected under the Equal Credit Opportunity Act but is not protected under the Federal Fair Housing Act? Oh wow, did we just had this one, but different verbiage. So is that A, marital status, B, race, C, sex, or D, familial status? Where we got A's, and A is correct. Good job. All right. Cool. Next question. The rate of mills for Columbus is 97, and the assessment level for the community is 35%. For a property with a value of $280,000, what will the annual taxes be? Is that A, $6,500, B, $12,000, C, $9,506, or D, $21,160? Give everyone a minute. Right, we got C. And that is correct. Good job. So first, take the value times the level of assessment to equal the assessed value. So it'd be that over 1,000, because mills, you want to divide the percentage by 1,000. And then you take the mills times the rate of mills, which equals the taxes. So the $280,000 times that 35% equals $98,000. Then you divide that by 1,000 to get the mills. And that is then your $9,506. Since that equals 98, multiplying that by the 97, which they give you here, is how they got 9,506. So to get the annual rate for taxes, they divided by 1,000 to put the 98,000 into mills. So anytime you need to make something into mills, either you divide it by the 1,000 or multiply it by the 1,000. Okay. A clause used in a mortgage allowing the lender to call for the full payment of the mortgage because the owner transferred ownership of the property to a third party is known as the blank clause. Is that A, alienation, B, prepayment, C, hypothecation, or D, appreciation? All right, good job, guys. We got A, and that is correct. It is alienation clause, which is the due on sale clause. They'll try to trick you and use like the AKAs for the clauses. So knowing that the alienation clause is also known as the due on sale clause. It's going to be super helpful. Okay. Gary purchases a home from Black. Or no, Gray. I thought it said Gary. Gray purchases a home from Black. Gray will pay $700 a month and a balloon payment and the title transfer will take place in 5 years. This is A, purchase money mortgage, B, amortized loan, C, blanket mortgage, or D, contract for deed. All right, we got C and B. Okay, which one do we go first? We got C first. Let's see, correct. And so it is actually D, contract for deed. Oh, this one was tricky. So a land contract or a contract for deed is a purchase which title transfer takes place when the entire purchase price is paid. They try to trick you by putting in balloon payment there, but when you read this, when the entire property transfers in the 5 years that they pay for the property, it's going to be a contract for deed, AKA a land contract. That was a tough one. All right. What's your score? A good score, passing. Okay, what should our next topic be? Just did financing. Obviously do that one again. We did transfer of title last time. Okay. Contracts, okay, sounds good. Okay, cool. Actually, oops. Okay. Once both parties have signed a purchase and sale agreement and the buyer's earnest money check is deposited in the broker's special trust account, whose money is it? Is that A, the buyer's until closing, B, the broker's as a prepayment of commission, C, the seller's until closing, or D, nobody's until the transaction is either completed, rescinded, or breached? All right. And that is correct. The answer is D. Nobody's until the transaction is completed, rescinded, or breached. Good job. Okay. If the landlord, if the landlord and the area real estate manager of a national retailer both execute a lease and the corporation fails to occupy the premises, what might prevent the landlord from enforcing the terms of the contract? Is that A, the real estate manager had authority to make the deal, B, the broker did not have a written listing, C, no corporate resolution granting signing authority to the real estate manager was approved, or D, the economy declined and the retailer was closing other stores? Oh, this one's tricky. We got C, and that is correct. Good job. So it would be C. No corporate resolution granting a signing authority to the real estate manager was approved. Okay. A legal remedy that would compel a vendor to execute a deed pursuant to a valid land installment contract is known as A, specific performance, B, writ of execution, C, the equity of redemption, or D, execution of sales. Oh, this one sounds like it would definitely be on the exam. Where we got A and B. Okay, let's see. A first answer. And it is A. So a specific performance is a remedy available to the buyer that would force the vendor, i.e. the seller, to execute the deed and specifically perform the promises given to the land installment contract. All right, good job. Contract law requires which amount of earnest money to be submitted with the sales contract? A, 6% of the offer, B, 10% of the asking price, C, no earnest money is required to form a contract, or D, at least $1,000. All right, good job. No earnest money is required to form a contract. It's good faith money, but it is not required. Yeah, sometimes earnest money, aka they'll use good faith money to talk about that. All right. Buddy wanted to offer to purchase the Walker's home. He engaged Joan to be his agent. When the offer was delivered to Mr. Walker, it contained a provision limiting the time for acceptance to 48 hours. Mr. Walker rejected the offer out of hand as inadequate. After thinking about it for 24 hours, though, Mr. Walker called Agent Joan and said, I've changed my mind. I'll take Buddy's offer. What is the status of Buddy's offer? A, it is still open, but he has not formally withdrawn it. B, it is binding contract now that Mr. Walker has accepted it. C, it was terminated when Mr. Walker first rejected it. Or D, it is still open. It had 40 hours to run. All right, we say C. And that is correct. Rejection automatically terminates the offer. Mr. Walker should not have rejected it right away. All right. A buyer and seller have agreed to all terms of contract. Both have signed the document. One party would now like to make a change. How would this legally be accomplished? A, it can be changed by written agreement of the buyer and the buyer's attorney. B, it cannot be changed in any way. C, it can be changed by unilateral condesal from either party. Or D, it can be changed by mutual agreement in writing by both parties. All right, and we said D, and that is correct. A contract can be modified, but only with the written agreement by both parties. So whenever you make a change to a contract, but everybody has to sign where that change was made, whether they sign or initial it, they all have to sign any changes made to the contract. All right. Which is true of a voidable contract? So definitely knowing the difference between void, voidable, breached, rescinded is going to be very helpful for the exam. Is that which is true about the voidable contract? A, all parties to the contract must have reached 16 years of age or it can be voided. B, a voidable contract may be enforceable at the option of the innocent party. C, a signed real estate contract cannot be voided. Or D, a forged contract is voidable. It's a tricky question. C and B. B first. D came through first. And it would be B. So a voidable contract may be enforceable at the option of the innocent party. Sounds confusing, which definitely is, but basically, the innocent party is the one to enforce a voidable contract. So only the injured party has the right to void a contract, but it is not required. Reasons might include intoxication, menace or duress, fraud or misrepresentation, or minority status of one of the parties. If the contract is illegal, it is void automatically. So what's true about a voidable contract is a voidable contract may be enforceable at the option of the innocent party. That's a hard one. Okay. If Ed purchases a property from Susan by an installment land contract, when will title pass to Ed? A, when the seller exercises the liquidated damage clause. B, when the deed is placed in escrow. C, when the contract has been signed by all parties. Or D, when the deed is delivered to the buyer. All right, we got C and D. Let's get the answer D first. And the correct answer is D, when the deed is delivered to the buyer. Ed does not come into title until the deed is delivered. This will occur when the contract terms are fulfilled, including the final payment to Susan. So once he pays for the property in full, then title can transfer to him, but the deed will be delivered to the buyer until the title can be passed. All right. Next question. A purchase and sale agreement stipulates the earnest money deposit be placed in a separate interest-bearing account with an interest earned split between the buyer and seller. This is A, against the law, B, okay because the buyer and seller have agreed to it, C, not okay and the broker should resign the listing, or D, money laundering. Okay. Oh, we got all answers across the board. Yeah, this is a hard one. Let's see. Okay, the first one that came through is A. So let's see. So the correct answer is going to be B. Okay, because the buyer and seller have agreed to it. So anything that the buyer and seller agree in writing is okay. Like whatever you're changing the contract to, as long as the buyer and seller agree to do it, it's good to go. Broker agent, the broker is an agent and should carry out the client's instructions completely. So as long as they are legal and they both agree to it, then they are able to do that. Key, as long as they are legal and they both agree to it. Okay, good job. John, a buyer, makes an offer on Mary's home. Mary feels the offer is too low and makes a counteroffer. John is not interested in paying any more than his original offer, so he does not reply to Mary's counteroffer. 2 weeks later, Mary is desperate to sell and calls John to accept his original offer. Does John have to purchase Mary's home at his original offer price? A, yes, he is bound by the original offer that Mary has now accepted. B, no, too much time has passed before Mary accepted. C, no, John has no obligation to purchase. Or D, yes, as long as Mary has signed the original offer. All right, and we all say C, and that is correct. John has no obligation to purchase the home. Once Mary made a counteroffer, John's offer no longer was dead or no longer or was terminated basically. Then a new contract was made. Good job. In order to have a valid contract, the good faith deposit must be paid in the form of A, cash money and small bills, B, a cashier's check drawn on the buyer's bank, C, anything the parties agree on, or D, a personal check drawn on the seller's bank. All right, we got C and B. What do I say first? And C is correct. Anything the parties agree on. So the parties may agree on any form of payment for a good faith deposit or a money deposit. So as long as both parties agree in writing, then it is a valid contract. All right, good job. The term specific performance refers to A, the agreement of all parties of the contract, B, an executed contract in which all elements of the contract have been specifically fulfilled, C, a legal procedure or action brought by either the buyer or the seller to enforce the terms of the contract, or D, the right of either party to cancel a contract provided legal notice is given. So the basically which one best describes specific performance? All right, C is correct. The specific performance is a remedy at law that would require one party to specifically perform his obligation as called for under the contract. For example, make the seller sign the deed as he promised to do so. So each party has a specific performance in the contract. All right, good job. The first instrument a buyer usually signs in a real estate transaction is A, deed, B, mortgage, C, listing agreement, or D, offer to purchase. So the first instrument a buyer usually signs in a real estate transaction. We get D here. And D is correct. So a listing agreement is between the seller and broker, and then the buyer doesn't sign the deed, the seller signs the deed as the grantor. And then the offer to purchase is going to be signed in a real estate transaction, and that is going to be what the buyer signs first, most likely. Then do not forget, however, most states require some sort agency disclosure prior to drafting the offer to purchase. A mortgage would be signed after the buyer's offer has been accepted. So if agency disclosure was on here, that would trump offer to purchase. The agency disclosure wasn't on here, so offer to purchase is the best answer. All right, good job. Broker Alice conveys an offer from her client to broker Betty, wherein Alice's client wishes to purchase a 300-acre farm by giving broker Betty's client $100,000, 2 one-year-old tractors, and 50 head of Black Angus cattle. What would the consideration offered by broker Alice's client be called? A, good and valuable, B, good, C, valuable, D, inadequate. Honestly, I thought it was A too, but the best answer is gonna be C, valuable. Huh. Contracts must be supported by consideration in which offered by one party to induce another to enter the contract. Valuable consideration is anything of value, money, goods, personal services, exchange property, or often simply the promise to deliver something of value. Good consideration consists of love and affection and is sufficient to support a gift deed. All right, that was tricky. So the best answer is going to be valuable consideration. So there's valuable consideration and good consideration. Those both sound valuable and good, but I feel like that was a poorly written question. All right, good job. Next question. A subdivision developer employs agent Sue to sell lots. John, a licensed agent, offers to buy lot B3 for $20,000. A sales contract is executed, however, through a typographical error that no one noticed. The contract identified the lot as D3, which was listed at $25,000. What is the contract status? Is that A, void, B, enforceable, C, invalid, D, voidable? Okay. Similar questions to this will be on the test. So definitely knowing the difference between each one. They are confusing. So D, voidable is correct. Good job, guys. I don't know why I struggled so hard knowing the difference, but that is the correct answer. Is going to be D, voidable. All right. Yay, we whizzed through that one. 80%. Whoop, whoop. Passing. All right, let's go back to dashboard and scope out the other topics. So we did financing and we did contracts. What else do we want to look at today? All right, real estate calculations. Good way to end study session. Okay. A property is 100 feet long by 100 feet wide. The property has a deed restriction that requires 10-foot setbacks on each side, a 20-foot setback on the front of the property, and a 30-foot rear setback. How much of the property is available for building use? A, 360 square feet, B, 10,000 square feet, C, 3,600 square feet, or D, 260 square feet. Right, I'll give everyone some time to calculate. All right, we got two. All right, D came in first. All right, so the correct answer would be C. Let's see. So the question involves a building of 100 feet by 100 feet. So then you get 10,000 total square feet. Then, however, setback lines, side yards, etc., limit building area to a square of 80 by 45. So they did 100 minus 10 for setback on each side, multiplied by 100 minus 30 and 25 on the rear and front setbacks. So it'd be 80 by 45, you get 3,600 square feet. That was tricky. All right, good job. Okay, next question. Joe is purchasing property at $35 per front foot of a lot of 600 feet by 1,452 feet. How much did he pay for the front of the lot? A, $21,000, B, $23,000, C, $20,000, or D, $20,500. Oh, really quick. Everyone, a little bit of extra time. right. And A is correct. By multiplying $35 by 600 to obtain the answer of 21,000, the front footage of the lot is always expressed first in the lot size. For example, 50 by 100 has front footage of 50 and depth of 100. So just multiplying that $35 by 600, you get the front foot of the lot. All right. A property is appraised at $150,000 and assessed for tax purposes at 35% of value. Calculate the semi-annual tax bill if the mill's total is 80. Definitely had a similar question of this on my test. So is that A, $2,100, B, $42, C, $4,200, or D, $7,500? So now know that a property is appraised and the assessed for tax purposes of 30%, 5% of value. That is going to be what the mills is based off of. Right, we got D. All right, so the correct answer is A. And so don't forget to divide the answers by 2 as a final step. So since it asks for semi-annual, that is how they got $2,100. So they take the appraised value and the rate of 35%, which will yield the assessed value. Then you take the assessed value and multiply it by the mills of 80, and then divide that by 1,000. As mills mean $1 per every $1,000. And this will get you $4,200, and then divide that by 2 for the semi-annual tax. The more you do these, the easier they will be to understand and like what formulas you put into place. So definitely practicing on this one will be very helpful. All right. A property owner paid $25 per front foot for a oh, we just, do we have this? 600 foot by 1,452 foot lot. How much did they pay for the lot? All right. Oh, we had 35. Now it's 25. All right, we got D. So multiplying, how much did they pay? But how much did they pay for the lot? Not the front foot, but for the lot. And D is correct. Good job. The front footage answer always expresses the lot, and the front foot 50 by 50, so it would be 25 by 600. Good job. The subject property is a three-bedroom ranch with 2 full baths and a 2-car garage. In the same neighborhood, a nearly identical home with 4 bedrooms just sold for $110,000. The appraiser estimates the value of the 4th bedroom at $5,000. Based on just this information, what would the subject's value be? A, 90,000, B, 115,000, C, 110,000, or D, 105,000. All right, we got B and D. All right, we got 2 Ds. And D is correct. So you would subtract the 5,000 from the 110,000 because the neighbor or surrounding property has a 4th bedroom and your subject property has only 3 bedrooms. So that 4th bedroom is an additional 5,000. So you subtract that and you get 105,000. Good job. All right, next question. A real property transfer fee of 2 mils on the sale of real estate at a total consideration of $89,500 equals A, $1,790, B, $179, C, $8.95, or D, $89.50. So a real property transfer fee of 2 mils on the sale of real estate at a total consideration of $89,500 equals what? This is a little tricky. Right, we got C and B. First, all right. Actually, the correct answer is B. Good job. Let's see. So 1 mils equals 1/1,000. So divide that by 1,000, you get $89.50. Then you multiply that by 2 and you get $179 in tax. The tricky part was the 2 mils. I actually completely forgot what to do there too. So when you get that $89.50, multiply it by 2 and you get $179. That was tricky. Okay, next question. Well, long question. Okay. Bill was thinking of purchasing an apartment building. He wanted a 10% return on his investment and asked to see the books for this building. There are 4 apartments on each floor of the 3-story building. The rent for an apartment on the first floor is $400 a month, and each floor's rent increases $50 per month per apartment. Bill noticed a loss of rent through vacancy and collection losses of 8%, and when he figured the operating expenses, they averaged $610 a month. With all of this information, what is the most that Bill should pay for this building? Round your answer to the nearest thousand. All right, that A, $590,060, B, $648,000, C, $596,460, or D, $522,960. Okay, I'll give everybody a good minute or two to figure out this multi-step problem. So it's super tricky. You guys got this. Good job, we got B. We got B and C. Let's see. B came in third. All right, so it is D. So this was super tough. So let's see. The ideal income when they did, let's see, 16,000, we got 4 times 400. Remember, first floor is 400 a month. That is the breakdown. Luckily, you won't have too many of these on the exam. Maybe one, maybe two. So definitely saving these, all the math problems last. And then, oh, that's too much. Got it. Okay, I'm gonna share it in increments and then it's how we got it. So luckily, it seems like math is going to be a big portion, but I promise you it is not on the exam. And you'll find maybe one, maybe two questions like this, probably just one. Definitely saving it towards the end of the exam to make sure you get into calculations mode. So definitely saving all the math problems to the end. And then once you're in like your formula and calculations mode, completing what you can on the math problems. Yeah, this one was multi-step problem, but they do a good job breaking it down on how they got that answer. Okay. Well, next question. If a property sells for $289,000 at a cap rate of 9.75%, what would Deborah offer if she wants a cap rate of 10%? Is that A, $281,775, B, $300,975, C, $2,412,500, or D, $2,589,765? Give everybody a good 2 minutes. Um, Right. Well, we got A, and that is correct. Good job. I know it sounds super tricky, but once you do process of elimination, it could be easier. So that is how they, hopefully you got the answer, and that it gives a breakdown of how they got A, $281,775. Good job. Next question. The square footage of a 3-story building that is 60 by 53 is 3,180 square feet, 5,940 square feet, C, 9,540 square feet, or D, 6,360 square feet plus garage. All right, we got C, and C is correct. Good job. That is going to be 9,540 square feet. Good job. So how you got that is 60 by 53 by 3. There are 3 floors. Nice. Okay, a property owner paid $25 per front foot for a 600 foot by 1,450 foot lot. How many acres did they buy? Gosh, so it all sounds very similar, but they're asking for different answers with kind of like the same um, equation. But they're asking for different parts of the equation. Right. We got C. And C is correct. Good job. So remembering that 43,560 square foot per acre and doing the math of the square footage, you get 871,200 square feet. Dividing that by 4,560, you get 20 acres. All right. Good job, guys. Did super good on the finance or the calculations portion. Very nice. Well, thanks so much everyone for joining.